Welcome back, everybody.
Hey! Yep.
Do you know what episode it is?
20.
It's
Bing, 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 bing.
Hey.
Jesus Christ. Can we finally get some special effects and just have flyers pop out 20 and then have it like spinning?
Absolutely not. This is probably gonna be the.
That's low effort.
Hey, I made a reel this week.
You did.
A
Actually,
whole one?
So I was with a friend and I saw the reel pop up and she was like, "Oh, you guys do reels too?" And I was like, "Yeah, we do reels."
Apparently.
I was like, the guy who makes our reels said he's on vacation, so that's all he's gonna do. And then he never did it.
Yeah. Because at the time I had no friends, so. And then
Hey,
I
wait a
met lot-
minute.
I had no friends other than you guys, and then I suddenly met a lot of friends, so I've been pretty busy. No, yeah, I made a reel yesterday. I was feeling productive.
Nice.
Yeah. And because I don't know, I liked our last episode. I thought it was pretty good. So 'cause I actually
Nice.
listened to the whole episode on my own, and I was like, there's some pretty funny bits in there. So I have some more reels, the ones that you suggested me. They're in the works.
See, I work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Nice.
A man when nobody's watching. He's
I just
working in the
show up.
dark.
Yeah, I mean, basically that's all I'm doing anyway. I pretty much figured out how to like automate the entire editing of the podcast, so it's really quick for me now. So.
And then we get comments like, "Wait, what? The
Why
editing's
is it
shit."
like that?
Why is it
Yeah,
edited like
and then
this?
it's messed up. Yeah.
But
I
you're
fixed-
you're quick to fix it,
Yeah.
so cheers. Props
I
to
try
that.
to fix it pretty quickly. Yeah, so we got some news this week.
Yeah, do you want to share the news you've got first?
I got big news.
There we go.
I got an internship.
Hey!
Ah, bravo.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna be going to work on a new podcast.
Wait, what?
Oh.
Okay, wait, Hunter.
This is the first y'all are hearing about
This
it.
is the best time to steal the good shit.
Hopefully you can bring some of that skill. over.
Bring some of that skill, such as hitting record and then checking the cameras.
That's important bits.
Yeah, the important bits.
Also, learning how to make the camera not turn off every 25 minutes. That might be useful.
I see death in his eyes. Look at that. He's dead inside. Walter.
He just
really quick.
he just clenched his fist when you said that.
And we're good.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you.
See, I felt very confident about it until you guys said something, and then I was like, wait a minute, did I do it? But yeah, so I got an internship, and I'm gonna be starting next week. I'm very, very excited.
What's the hours like?
So it's 2 days a week, so it's not too bad. It's just Mondays and Wednesdays from 11 to 6.
That
I
means you
think.
gotta stop drinking on Sunday nights.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that.
The way you get up, it means that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I actually do have to stop drinking on Sunday nights. So this is my last Sunday night that I can go out drinking.
Nice.
Oh.
I know.
Have fun with your friends.
My not you guys
Yeah.
friends. Yeah, they won't come out with me this week. Hunter's in the doghouse this
Hunter's
week.
in the doghouse. We won't say why, but he knows.
Yeah, Hunter's in the doghouse. But yeah, so
we had a great last week.
Oh, Dogger, you and I had a good time.
what you guys do?
Nothing.
None of your business.
None of your business. We did. You should have been there. Is what we did, baby.
Honestly, looking back at it, yeah, I should have been there. And I apologize formally on the podcast.
Formally apologize. Okay,
Formally
I'll
apologize.
consider
Okay.
accepting. We don't have to accept just because they apologize.
True.
Forgiveness
We'll
is in your...
we'll take it into consideration.
Yeah.
You'll convene with the
Yeah. We'll reconvene after
The council
hours.
will convene.
Brian, you can join our council
Okay.
since you're always consistent at least.
Me didn't go out last week either.
Yeah, but he said
He
he's
said
not
it.
coming out.
Okay.
So we...
I always say Sundays. I have work on Monday.
yeah.
But you did previously say that you
Yeah.
were going to come out with us.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
He even bought dinner.
Yeah.
Actually, that dinner turned out it was very long.
It was,
No,
but
no.
it was a good dinner.
No,
too.
we sat there for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
I was...
What'd you guys
really-
have?
I don't know. Should have been there.
Just me.
What did we have? Oh yeah, I remember. I remember.
Just meat.
Yeah, just meat.
Just meat.
Galbi.
And some
And
skin.
3 hours of
And
Galbi?
some-
No. It wasn't 3 hours of Galbi. It was 3 hours of just one bottle of soju.
One more.
One more.
One more. And we just kept on calling the ajushi over. One more.
That is how it
Doggo
tends
was
to
just
happen.
like... And Doggo eventually he turns to me. He's like, 1 or 2? And I'm like, 1. And he goes, 2.
Yeah.
And we finished that in like 5 minutes.
No, we finished it so quickly.
They're so small bottles.
Yeah.
Well, next time I'll be there.
If you're if you're lucky to get invited.
Yeah,
True,
let the council
true.
convene. Let
Yeah.
the council convene.
So yeah, so that's my big news is I got the internship. So I'll be starting there soon. And then I have some kind of like I wanted to kind of go back and talk about this because we talked about university life and stuff. What was it? Episode 17 or 16, I think. And one of my big things was I was talking about university clubs and stuff like that.
So not so, but like the global buddy program.
Right. Did you see my Instagram post about this?
I
I
will
did.
say
You did?
yes to support you.
So if you've listened to that episode, or if you remember me telling you, the way the school kind of works is that they have a lot of these hobby clubs, basically, and they're all really just drinking clubs. Like they usually have a theme, like a skateboarding club or a ping pong club or a ski club, but really they just meet and they do the hobby, and then afterwards they go drinking, and that's pretty much all it is. And it's really hard for foreigner students to join those because sometimes there's like a qualification process. You have to like apply to join. And usually if you're not good at Korean, they will not accept you. And I kind of get it to an extent where it's like, okay, how are they supposed to communicate if you can't speak Korean? But even when I've written my stuff like and had another Korean help me like proofread it and make sure it sounds good, and like even though it's not fluent Korean, it's like pretty good Korean, they still won't accept me a lot of the times. And I've applied for a couple different clubs, and I've only gotten accepted into the ones that basically everyone gets accepted into. However, my school did have like a global buddy program, which is where they match you with a Korean student. And they've decided this year that they will no longer be offering that to international students.
Wait, so who are the?
Only-
It's just gonna be
Who are the
Korean
global
people.
Only exchange students are allowed. Only one semester
so
exchange
you
students.
mean internationalized?
Long-term
Long-term international.
foreign students are not allowed to join the
Wait,
program
why?
anymore.
They should at least allow
Is-
like the first year.
So that's what I commented on their post because they were just like, basically their reasoning is that they just don't have enough people. Like the people,
Like Koreans?
yeah, Koreans to actually match up with the amount of international students that try to participate every year. And so because of that, they're like, well, we used to not do this before, but because of COVID, we allowed international students. But now that it's kind of settled back down, like we're going to go back to how it was. And I kind of get that to an extent, but I still think like they have a lot of events and parties and stuff like that, and they should still be open to the students, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like one-on-one. I sort of get the reasoning in that you are limited if the structure is to match you with a Korean. If Koreans don't apply, I can sort of see how they want to decrease the amount of international people apply. But yeah, parties. Surely anyone can go to a party.
Or the
right?
events or whatever
Or the
you would
events,
think,
or
yeah.
group things.
So I replied to their like post about it, and I wrote this really long comment. And basically that's what I said. I said, I kind of complained at first, and I was like, this is a really stupid idea. Like you're further alienating like foreign students when we already feel really alienated from the clubs. Like now international students have nothing. Like unless you really get down and learn your Korean, then you're not going to be able to join any clubs now. And so I left this big comment, and I didn't want to be the one just like complaining about it. So at the end, I was like, here's my solution. Here's my offered ideas for a solution. I said, allow first and second year students to join. Because what's the difference between first year and second year students and exchange students? Like they're all new to Korea.
Yeah.
None of them have any experience. They need the help. Like the difference between a first year international student and an exchange student is nothing. They're the same thing.
True.
So I said, at least allow them in. Like I've had my time in it. Maybe I don't have to join. That's fine. I said, but at least allow the new students in. And even if they're like transfer students, like third or fourth year transfer students, maybe allow them in just case by case basis. And then also allow everyone to join the events. Like maybe I don't need exactly a buddy, but if you post an event or something, like allow all the foreigner students to come. And so that was my solution. But
Did they reply?
they didn't reply to me. They didn't reply to the comment or anything. So maybe they're discussing it in house, I guess. I don't
Yeah,
know.
sure.
Discuss
Sounds about right.
with the council.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So that was a bit of a bummer for me this week. But I did get accepted into a different club. I'm in the ping pong club.
You could even play ping pong.
I can play ping pong.
Yeah, and then Lauren smashed your ass. So
True, she did smash my ass. Yeah, I joined the ping pong club, and I got ranked 8th tier. They have a club ranking.
Wait. The rankings always confuse me because some people
So it's
go from.
10 is the lowest.
Okay,
0
that's
is
what I
the
was gonna
highest.
check. Okay.
So I got ranked 8th, and they like you get a chance to like play in this like tournament every week, and if you win the tournament, your rank can go up. But my group was me and 3 girls who did not know how to play, and
That's
I felt so
sexist.
bad. I couldn't I didn't want to like spike the ball at them. Like they didn't know how to hit it back. I felt so
This is-
bad. It felt like so mean.
I feel like you could have left out their girls part. Ping pong is not the most physical, laborious task. And even then,
There are
women
girls in the
can
club who
clap
are
you
really good.
physically, So
Sorry, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I,
that's what I'm
I
saying.
should have rephrased
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Yeah, I got matched with the 3 girls who are in the lowest tier.
you just got matched with the 3 lowest people.
Yeah. Yeah, Hunter.
Okay, fair. Yeah,
Stop
Yeah,
being
Hunter.
sexist. God damn it.
can't
Shit.
go one episode without this. But yeah, so yeah, those are my news for the day.
Oh, nice.
Y'all got anything?
I have news.
What's your news?
More Korea, like just general Korean news. We never spoke about the original story on the podcast because we figured it was too depressing. I don't know if you guys remember the teacher who died by suicide due to just not the
Overwork.
best teaching conditions.
I heard of the
and-
news, but I didn't hear
I
anything.
didn't really
what
get into
happened.
like. the
Yeah,
details.
I don't want to go too deep into it. You can easily just search I mean, it's not uncommon, but because of how big that story is, that one will come up. And it's been a couple of weeks since that. Last week, the Minister of Education updated education policies. Now, teachers in Korea can discipline students by removing them from classrooms or confiscating cell phones.
Wait,
which wasn't,
you-
you could
you-
not do that.
you couldn't
in the
do that
past.
before?
No. If teachers did that, parents would sue the teachers for child abuse because it was emotional damage or some shit like that.
Jesus.
What the hell?
So your kid could essentially go to class, just fucking be a complete idiot, and the teacher couldn't do anything. They couldn't tell them to stop. They couldn't send them out the classroom. Even though, the child was entirely incorrect in the situation, it constituted some emotional abuse.
I thought it was just part of growing up, like getting kicked out of class.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought. I was like, wait, what the hell? Yeah. I was always outside the classroom.
Especially when you kicked out with your buddy. Yeah. It's fun as hell.
and then,
Yeah.
and then you do the handshake, and then teacher's back. No, yeah.
But,
so
wow, I didn't know it was
so-
so strict.
It
It's
is. It
pretty
is a
strict.
little bit.
I mean, isn't it because like back in the old days, teachers really disciplined the kids, so they just took
I
away
think
all
so.
the power?
I think
Yes.
that's what I've heard.
So what happened was corporal punishment used to be super big in Korea.
Yeah.
Like even up until 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And because of that, they dramatically changed it and removed all the teachers' power, and at the same time bumped up student power in terms of a lot of protective policies. So it was a case of they simultaneously removed teachers, rights and protection, and then also gave students more
Similar
protection.
thing they did with the police,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Mm.
When you were talking about, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I was going, Korea has a history of giving a certain group too much power and then taking it away and making them completely useless.
Yeah, so that's exactly that.
Yeah, that's crazy because at my school too, it kind of recently happened. I think it was a month ago, where one of the head teachers we were in a meeting and she was basically telling us about how we need to discipline the kids in a more positive way and not reprimand them and all of that shit. But then right after that, she's like, but also don't be afraid to be strict with them. And I'm like,
Wait.
what do you want then? Do you want me to be strict or do you want me to be kind? What? So we don't know. We still don't know, actually.
Dude, I'm just curious. You were an English teacher.
Yeah.
How do you discipline the kids? Can you? If you had in the past, what did you do?
Well, if I think about my case at the moment, I actually don't have to because my kids are so well behaved. I can just tell them oh, don't do that, and then they'll just stop. They're really, really that nice.
Nice.
But then I don't know. I think sometimes I just kind of speak in a little more stern tone because at least since I first started teaching, I always had this feeling where kids kind of come to see me as a big brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I always have that kind of really friendly relationship with my kids. So when I kind of change my tone of voice like that, they kind of get a little bit oh, I kind of made him angry. I'm going to stop now.
Okay,
of course,
that's
it
fine.
doesn't always work because there are some kids who are just assholes. But
Naturally.
in those cases, I think a lot of the times it just comes down to spending more time with them and getting to know them better, where they kind of come to appreciate you, and then they'll be more willing to listen. Because that's actually what happened with one of my afternoon classes, which is not my normal class. they're a little bit more, or they were very, very difficult at first. But now I just kind of mess around with them and they'll listen. So
Nice,
it's just kind of
okay.
like building the relationship in my
Mhm.
case, I think. Yeah.
Do you have a teacher voice?
I'm not going to use it here.
Oh,
I want to say I
We
want to
gotta-
hear, I want to
yeah,
hear
we
his
gotta
teacher
get a
voice, and then
teacher
I want to
voice.
hear the disappointed teacher voice.
and then I want to hear the bedroom
Do it.
voice.
But you know what? Like I got told off by one of my superiors because I said hey to kids too much.
Like, hey,
Yeah, be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And they're
Huh.
like, "Oh, they complain to their mom that you always call them hey." And it's like, yeah,
Hey, it's
'cause-
for horses.
No.
yeah. So yeah, I got like called out by one of my superiors for calling this kid hey too much. And like and also it was like, oh, this kid is like complaining that he feels that you really don't like him because you always call him out and like always get upset or angry at him. And I'm like, because he's a fucking asshole.
See,
He doesn't
guys,
listen to
no,
anything I tell
exactly,
him.
That's exactly the case of the emotional abuse thing, right? It's
Yeah.
like the kid who gets called out is getting called out for a reason.
Yeah.
But they then go home and they tell their parents, this is what happened at school. The teacher hates me. And teachers then get sued.
I don't know, man. I'm on the teacher. I'm on the parent side for this.
Wait, what?
A-tab, baby. All teachers are bad.
What? Can I just say, as an American, I can't believe you just said that shit to me. There are layers in that one, aren't there?
Also, no, like, even when I was working in China, it was kind of a thing. Like, teachers knew Korean parents are another level.
Yeah.
Like intense about like just complaining.
Is
and
it a more
talking about
recent thing, or is it like has it always been like that?
It's a more recent thing,
Because
I've
for-
heard.
when you-
Because of the corporal punishment, a lot of those kids are now the parents. And so because they now have the rules on their side, they are using it more powerfully.
Because when you look at the history, like parents did not give a fuck about their kids back in the day.
No, yeah, it's exactly that. So it's those kids now are the parents, and plus the lawyers on their side.
But
make
also,
money.
it's also a matter of like, you know, what is usually called or known as like tiger mothers.
Tiger moms.
In Korea, it's like dragon moms.
Dragon
yeah.
moms?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Interesting.
so
Isn't it like
it's-
helicopter parents or something?
That's like being overprotective.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more about like trying to make their kids like overachieve. And so there is also a lot of that, and that's also part of the pressure that teachers get from parents, which is also probably related to that case from what I've heard.
Yeah.
Oh
Important,
yeah, I forgot we were talking about a case.
important thing to ask about this is, does this apply to Hagwons also? Or is this only public school?
Doesn't apply
That's
to
a
Hagwon
good
more.
question, but I'm pretty sure it applies to all because it's
Okay.
from the Ministry of Education as a blanket
Gotcha.
for all
I understand
education.
that.
I didn't know if it was just like
Yeah.
a government guideline, because then it would probably only be public schools. But if it's
no,
if it's a law,
Yeah, I'm
Then,
pretty
yeah.
sure they're putting it into law.
okay.
I thought you were asking about like which parents are crazier. Like, it's probably Hagwon, right? Because they're
Oh,
paying.
Oh no,
for it.
Hagwon parents are the craziest.
Yeah.
They even so you've got like the Chinese Asian tiger mom, you got the Korean dragon moms. Then you got this area in Gangnam called Daechidong. So you get the Daechi moms. Because they are spending like 10 million, 15 million a month for Hagwons.
Jeez.
to be
and
clear,
because
that's
of-
like 10,000, 15,000 US dollars.
That's what they're spending on education for like
Imagine.
their middle school kid.
And then their kids come
month.
out stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
Now wait, that's what they're paying for the Hagwon, but they still go to like actual public
And then they
school
still
too?
no, then they go to private school. They don't go to
Okay.
public
Yeah.
school.
Okay.
No.
I'm about to say,
The-
because my parents paid about 14,000 for my private school.
the no, this is no.
They
this is-
just threw money to the garbage.
And he's not wrong, actually. He's 100% correct. I didn't
Oh,
do shit
fuck.
in my classes. I didn't do my homework.
fuck.
After I went there for a year and a half, and after a year and a half of that school, my parents were like, "You want to just go to public school?" I was like, "Yeah, I think we should just transfer public
Do you know
school."
when they're like, what would you do with a time machine? You know, I would time travel and tell your parents to send you to China like him. I've
Might
seen
have
the
actually worked
future.
out for me.
I've seen the
Actually.
future. Don't send him to private school. Send him to China. Search this man up and send him along. Uh, but
So
yeah,
many things
that's,
I want to say. It's not appropriate. Right now.
that's my
Save that
news.
for the Patreon.
Yeah, that's ideas.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's all the
No, but
news
you-
that we had, right?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
All right, so our topic today is actually coming from our good man, Brandino.
And technically, not even from me. I was with a podcast fan who gave us the idea.
Oh.
She watches the podcast and she said she hasn't seen an episode titled or dedicated to nightlife. Now, we all, and
We
our
talked
listeners,
about nightlife a lot.
Our listeners know we talk about nightlife. We talk about drinking. We always fucking going out. But we never sat down and discussed what the fuck actually happens or what can happen.
Yeah.
And the different kinds of activities and
Yeah.
things that are available in Korea.
Yeah. Because
When-
at least with America, it's very different, like the types of places you have to drink here,
And
I think.
in my mind, America, there are three things. You get like your normal standard bar that you see on TV.
Mhm.
And you get the club that closes at 2 a.m.
It doesn't
Yeah.
have everything closed too.
Yeah.
You know? And then the third one is like a strip club.
Yeah.
Those are my three ideas of American nightlife.
You want to hear something crazy? And I'm
Uh-oh.
okay to say
think
this.
careful. Okay,
I know
I was gonna say.
my family
I
listens
was
to the
about to say,
podcast, and it's
think
okay.
carefully about what you're
I can
saying.
honestly say I've never been to a strip club. And my town has a lot of them.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You know what?
There was one connected to the bowling alley.
Oh, that's nice.
So you can go to the bowling alley, bowl a little bit, go to the arcade, and then walk around the corner. You're at
Get
the
your
strip
fingers
club.
loose
Oh, my God.
at the bowling alley. Then you're good to go.
You know, I also have never been to one, but I once went to this, like, it wasn't even a club. It was just like this makeshift party that existed at a place at one time. And I went there with my older brother, his friend, and some of my friends. And it was just kind of like a club vibe. But then suddenly this girl came up to the bar, and it was like a whole thing. Like, there was a DJ putting the music for her, and then she started like going up and dancing.
On
And
the
she's-
bar?
Yeah, and then she started stripping. But it was like,
Planned.
yeah, it was planned. It was not just a random girl got up there and did that. It was like part of the whole party. She got up and started stripping and everything, and we're like, okay. Like, it just did not know that was gonna happen.
This is a movie, no? Coyote Ugly. 2000 and early 2000s.
I mean, I've watched it, but
He was just like, oh, I was just high and watching the movie.
no.
Like Coyote Ugly.
I have pictures of that time.
Hey.
There's a really
Can you
funny
put-
one
can you
of
put
my
him up on
friend
the
just
screen right
going
now?
like this, and like she's right there, so it looks like he's going for a grab. Yeah. And actually, I do remember the guard kind of came up and I'm like, no touching.
So that is one difference. Korea doesn't have strip clubs. I don't think.
No, they don't have
Not in the
open.
sense,
Not in the,
sense you're talking about.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, we can kind of go into the kind of the more like
we can
underground
let's
stuff
get-
too
I guess
towards the
let's
end.
talk about the dark stuff. Too.
Yeah.
The dark side of.
But let's
Korean
start with
nightlife.
the
Not so dark
easy
stuff.
ones. The one that has a common with every other place in the entire world. Bars.
bars.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think like Korean? I mean, there's the bars like we've talked about before in Hongdae. We'll shout a few out like Thursday Party, Cocky Pub. Like those places, they have the kind of Western bar vibe.
They are Western bars, and it's just they appeal to the Western market,
Yeah.
and so that's
Yeah.
why they're styled around that.
But Korean bars are a little different.
They sort of double up as clubs. And
It's
now to
also-
name
it's
drop a
always-
couple like
It's also like a
Tokebi.
mix.
Yeah, it's a mix, right? So you'd get the bar, very few people sit there. I think the people who do sit there are the sort of depressed guys or girls who go and just drink their sorrows away. And then it's just fucking tables galore. And at the back, a makeshift dance
Yeah, it's
floor.
kind of a small.
A small makeshift dance floor.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: do you think that bar and like sulchib are the same thing in your mind?
Yes, and I
Because
have
for international listeners, like they say sulchib, which basically means like alcohol house.
drinking establishment.
And then they actually have the Korean word ba,
Yeah.
which is just bar,
Yeah.
which is without the R.
And even then, even the bar is more oftentimes a hof instead of a bar.
Yeah.
When it's
Yeah,
called
and
a
we'll
bar.
go into what a hof is
Yeah.
in a minute, but what do you guys like when you think in your mind? Do you kind of see those as the same thing, or do you
I do not.
differentiate them?
For me, when I see sulchip, I think it's just where you go drink and have a little bit of food, like anju,
Gotcha.
side
Yeah.
dishes, small dishes.
A suljib is more like a hof than a bar.
Yeah, I would say so.
But that said, when I do describe a suljib, I always say it's a Korean style bar.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. I think the big thing, like especially in Korean bars, there's not really a what do you call the countertop? I'm blanking on the English word.
Countertop?
The bar.
Isn't there another word for it? Like where the people sit on the stools up next to the bartender.
The bar?
I think that's literally
They
just
just
called
call
the
it the
bar.
bar?
Quite literally, the bar.
And
Oh,
that's why it's called a bar.
I was like, I thought I was blanking on like the actual word for it. I thought there was a more correct word. But
Can
yeah,
you
they
go
don't
to your Hagwon? Do you accept international students?
But like if you go to like any Korean
But
places,
they can't
you're
join our
never-
clubs though.
Yeah, they never have like the seats and stuff. you
Yeah,
can
the
sit
countertop
So,
area.
That's more like a kind of like a dive bar, isn't it called? that?
yeah, kind of
Yeah.
dive bar. We
Go
don't
to
have those.
Go to
here
a
in Korea.
cocktail bar. That's what I've been doing the
Sure.
past few weeks. Even last night, where I spent $20 on a single shot of brandy. But ooh, that was good. The first one, I didn't drink it for half an hour. I just kept on lifting the glass just until, as it approaches my tongue. Just,
A hint of
and I
hazelnut.
put it down. I put it down. I was like, oh, that's what I need. And then after I finished it, I was like, another,
Throw another gun.
another. Yeah.
But yeah, you have to go to like cocktail bars or like specialty bars
Mhm.
to kind of get that vibe.
Or even like the Western like
Yeah.
places. But even
But
I
even
feel like
if it
even the
goes-
Western ones don't.
No,
really
but
have
They don't have like the
that.
seats
Yeah.
at the bar.
Yeah, Dokebi has a few.
Tokebi, that's what I use as an example.
But it's
Tokebi
kind of
has,
annoying.
but they
Not gonna
don't want you to sit there.
Yeah.
Like at best, sit there on a weeknight
Mm.
at like 6 p.m. when they open.
Yeah.
That's the only time.
Also, when you go to the bar to order and there's just people sitting, it's kind of annoying. You just move.
Yeah, but that's how you do it in America. You kind of like have to lean in between them, but then you look at the girl and you're like, "Hey, what are you drinking? Can I get you one?"
Oh my god.
That's what. No, that's what you do in
Oh
America.
yeah, is that the move?
Yeah, that's the move.
That's the-
That's the move.
Could be the move.
You know what I've seen here more than other places are all those vinyl bars.
Oh, the
yeah,
LP.
those
There are a lot of
getting more
LP
popular.
bars.
ones, yeah.
There are a lot of LP bars.
I like those a lot
Me too.
actually.
It's getting more popular.
So
these
an
days.
LP bar is where you can like request music.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
so
have
a lot of vinyl.
they have
records.
loads of LPs and you just request songs, they play it for you. They're usually more quiet, more of a chill vibe. And good music.
Yeah, most of them sort of specialize in an era, like either
Yeah,
the
yeah.
80s or the 90s.
Mhm.
But in many of them, you can just request across the spectrum.
I went to Sushi Q's
Mhm.
a couple of weeks ago, or last week maybe. Yeah.
Suzy Q's out in Hongdae. For
Yeah.
those that want to check it out.
Yeah. And we were.
I actually want to go back there sometime soon.
Oh, she was super nice. She was like, "Oh, hey, you."
Yeah, you.
Just go
White
out
guy.
a group of 40
Name,
people.
Yeah.
So,
And I mentioned Alex. He was, "Oh, where's Alex?"
Oh yeah.
But anyway, like we had this concept. Let's make a CD bar where it has like early 2000 music.
Oh my god!
my
I'm
God.
so down.
oh,
I'm
it's
so
it's not my
down.
idea. It was not my idea. But
Wait, that's so.
I'm not gonna
genius.
lie, that's cool. What's the first CD that comes to mind when you hear that? For me, it's Usher Confessions.
Oh my god.
That was that. The amount of times we burnt that CD at primary school. Oh my god.
mine was Get Rich or Die Trying for 50 cents. I don't know why that popped into my mind, but
Kids Bop 5.
Next, next.
Nirvana in Utero.
Uh-huh.
The problem is that like I didn't really have a lot of CDs, but every CD that I had, I know you guys are already gonna judge me so hard for.
Yeah.
It. I remember like my first CDs as a kid were definitely Kids Bop because I was a kid. But like getting older, I can remember the only two CDs I can remember buying as like a middle schooler or a high schooler are Dark Horse, Nickelback,
Can we go back to bars?
and Crash by Dave Matthews Band.
Can we go back?
okay, that's not bad.
Going back to
Going
bars.
back to bars.
So they have a lot of those, and that could be our new bar.
Yeah, those foreign
Those foreign
guys.
Hey, we
guys
started a
are-
podcast. We might as well make a bar.
CD bar.
Just no Nickelback, please.
Yeah. So yeah, you were mentioning Hoffs earlier. Maybe you can
Yeah.
explain a little bit because I don't even really know what a Hoff is.
So a Hof is sort of a pocha but indoors. So it's the established bar, but the requirement is you buy food. Anju, like sort of fried chicken or the sort of dried squid. But the difference from a Hof and a pocha then is the pocha's more casual, where a Hofster looks like you're in a bar.
I was gonna say the funny part to me was that trying to explain to our non-Korean viewers
Oh,
what a
What is
hof
a pocha?
You used another Korean word.
Shit. This is
It's hard.
this
Just
is
come.
so hard.
Just come here.
Just come here, and go into everything. If it says bar, go in
Wait,
and
so
look.
let's explain what is a pocha then.
Yeah. To explain what a hof is, you have to explain.
So the way I can like try to the way I can kind of explain a pocha is like if you've ever been to a place or like a theme place in America where they have like like wooden boxes stacked up and then there's like a thing on top to like make it into a table and it's kind of usually like an outdoor sitting thing and you can just like eat and drink outside like that. There's a few of those kind of style places. Not very common, but maybe if you're in the South, you've seen them before in
yeah.
America. It's kind of that style. It's kind of like they have like these tin or like aluminum tables, and they usually have some kind of like grill in the middle, or they bring out like a what do you call those? Burner grill. I don't know
Bunsen
what you call
burner.
it. A Bunsen burner. It's funny
Just
because
a portable gas
getting-
range, you fool.
a gas range, yeah, that's it. And they'll put that on the table so you can like get some food to put on top of that. But it's just kind of like a
It's basically a hole in the wall.
yeah.
And then, but like it extends to outside of it where they also have tables and it's kind of outdoors.
For me,
but it's
oh-
mostly like snacks. It's not.
For me, hofs always just are pochas, but with beer instead of soju.
Ah, that's a good way. Yeah, a lot of beer at half.
Yeah, but you always drink soju at them.
The only hof
pocha.
I can think of is like Beer King. Is that would you consider that a hof?
I usually just consider that chicken.
Yeah, it's more like
place.
a chicken
Oh,
place.
really?
I
You,
thought so
you can
too.
order other shit, but it's mostly chicken.
Oh, I didn't know that. I've always like whenever I think
But I
hof,
mean-
that's like the first
But
thing
it's
that
kind
comes
of
to
a
my mind.
it's kind of a
yeah.
modern.
It's like a half. Yeah,
But the
I
thing-
could consider it.
The
a
way
half.
I was gonna describe it was like it's like Denny's but alcohol. It's like that layout. They have like the booth seats and stuff like that, and the tables.
They do.
It's the same layout as like a Denny's,
Yeah.
but instead of having the Denny's stuff, it's just.
I don't know
beer.
Denny's outside of like early 2000s TV.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
that's what I-
kind
that's
of,
what I
that's
know.
kind of what it
It
looks like
hasn't
when you
changed?
walk in, though.
It hasn't changed, Denny's?
Probably not.
Okay, cheers.
So, but the thing that they have in common is that it's food and alcohol.
Yes.
Which I think is also kind of like a very, not necessarily just Korean, but we can say it's a like very
It's a
Korean
very
way
Korean
of
thing, yeah.
drinking because, like back in Ecuador, I don't remember. Like we just drink. We don't necessarily eat and drink. And if we do have snacks, it's like potato chips and shit like that.
Yeah.
But like here, it's like food, drink, drink.
Well, even there.
And it's like proper food.
yeah, the
or
snacks, as well, right? It's not like you mentioned when we say snacks, and in the Western sort of lens, it's potato chips.
Right.
When they talk about snacks, it's like dried fish,
Yeah.
dried meat,
Which
you know,
is so good.
it's so good. I love that, shit. I love that.
At
shit.
first,
you know,
people are gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
But when you
It's
get
like-
used to it,
especially when you're still sober and you walk in and you open the door and that fucking just that ocean smell that you know oh,
smacks
what's
you in
that
the face.
what's that fucking Ojingo shit, and then you sit down, you have a beer, and it's like, oh yeah.
I had
that
some I had an Ecuadorian friend come recently and I was gonna meet him, so I took him out to like have some drinks and everything. And he's like, yeah, we want to like, I'm here with some other people because they're all like chemical engineers and they were doing some just work related stuff here. And so they're like, yeah, we're all here. It's our first time. So we want like something like proper Korean. And I'm like, let's go for some dried fish. And then when they saw it, they're like, no, I don't want that shit. And I'm like, trust me, drink and eat that shit. And they were just all over it. They loved it.
It is really good.
Yeah.
I was the same way. When I first saw it, I was like, I'm not putting that anywhere near my mouth. And now, I love that shit. It's so good.
you put worse things in your mouth.
Oh yeah.
And better.
So pochas and hof's kind of similar, yeah. And then the other one that we have on our list is clubs.
The classic.
One thing
okay, yes.
about hofs, they usually are kind of older places.
Yes.
There's no one opening a new hof.
Wait, there is another thing that I think we should mention since we were talking about pochas. There is a particular one where it's like closed rooms type pochas. What are those called?
Just like room.
No,
what
they
are
have a
called?
name.
Yeah. It's the when we were just talking about this earlier that we went to in Conde that night when we took the picture together.
Oh.
What do you
I
call
know.
those? It's just like a private room.
I would call that a hof, not a pocha. But it's too modern to call it wait.
Yeah. No, it's a pocha, but it's like in your own private room.
Yeah.
It's like imagine you have all the tables in like a restaurant, but just each table has walls around it.
Yeah.
And usually they have like nice lights and
I
a
remember
disco
that
ball or
place
something
now.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And you can drink in there, and there's like a call button. And I was gonna say that's actually something that we should talk about as well. Is that at these places like these private rooms and the pochas and the hofs, in Korea, like you usually have the little bell you can order things. The new thing that the new technology that Korea has, they've done it again. I don't know. Korea, they just keep putting out bangers. I don't know. Now every table has an iPad.
Yeah.
So now you don't even have to ding the bell and tell the server what you want. You just order electronically on the iPad and they bring
Dogga,
it to
give
you.
your hot take.
I'm kind of against those.
Really?
It's kind of annoying because you have to like, instead of just when I want a beer, like we did last weekend. I'm just
Putting your hand out.
And it's like,
Yeah.
put the bottle
numbers. Just fucking point.
just two.
2, 3.
But now I have to go into the fucking thing and like press many buttons and then scroll down, press the other button, and like maybe it'll come.
You know what is so I've seen two things that I think are kind of interesting. One is like there is like a chat room with all of these tables that are connected, so you can communicate to people on other like other tables. But the one that I like is the drink auctions. So they basically put up this, like, there's a cocktail, right? They're like, let's say it's a Long Island, and it's like starting at $1. And so you could be like, okay, $2, and there's a time limit. So then you can play and like auction with all these people, and it gets up to like, let's say I'll be like, oh, I'll just go up to 5 because like that shit costs $8 anyway, so no point. But last time it was pretty funny because like the time was running out, and it was like still at $3 or something. So then as soon as it was at 1 second, I went like $4.50, and I just pressed that shit, and then I won that shit. And it was a 1+1, so we got 2 drinks for like $4.50.
Nice.
It was great.
You're talking about the one that we went to
Yeah.
in Hongdae. So
Yeah.
elaborating a little bit on pochas, there are different types of pochas.
Oh yeah.
So there are these like restaurant style pochas where you
Yeah.
go in, and there's also vinyl pochas, like street pochas that have the little like vinyl plastic things
Yeah.
around
Oh,
them.
that's usually called a potang matcha.
Okay. So
Which
maybe you
is-
can explain what that is.
Those are just like kind of plastics tents that set up like plastic chairs
Yeah.
and plastic tables inside. Usually like this old lady just cooking up shit.
I love how
love
also the
those-
seats are these little buckets that
Yeah.
you open up, put your bag in there, and then close it and sit on it.
Yeah.
But I like those the most, kind of like potang. It's kind of like the Korean feeling you get because you've
Yeah.
seen those in the movies and stuff.
I was gonna say that Korean feel is also why I hate the iPads.
Yeah.
And I actually, as much as I like the ding dong button, I also like just fucking shouting.
But you have to
In the
kind of get
restaurant,
your,
just
you have to get your confidence.
Get your Korean voice in. Have after those first 2 beers, fucking then you just.
But if you when you,
you
if
know
you
that
a
weird
colleague-
foreigner just shouting.
your voice cracks or something, you're stopped. The boss will never look at you. It's not gonna bring
Speaking
you more
from
stuff.
experience, dogger.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I know you guys do.
So the other type of pocha that Bryant kind of is alluding to with this, I don't think the one that we went to was not this, but they have very similar things. Is a hunting pocha, and
It's a hunting pocha,
typically
Hunter.
for younger people.
How
It's
young
not
we
really
talking?
for our age.
I'm young.
I would say like it's mostly college kids. I would just
Okay, I'm
say
not young.
college age.
You're a college kid, right?
I'm a college kid, but not college age.
No, you're
I will
you're a
say,
college man.
I have made the mistake of going to one of these before with friends, and people have like come up and talked to me, and because I was like the only foreigner in the place, and that's usually because they don't usually let foreigners in these
Yeah.
places, especially foreign guys.
Yeah.
Foreign girls can sometimes get in, but foreign guys, it's usually a big no-no. But I got in, and people that come up and talk to me, and I'd have a conversation with them, and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm trying to learn English. Like, maybe we can be friends." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure." We're talking. I'm like, "How old are you?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm just turned 21." And I'm like, "Korean age or international age?" And they're like, "Oh, Korean age." I'm like, "Goodbye," and gotta get out. So yeah,
That's what you're telling us.
no, that is what happened. I swear.
That's
But-
the official story.
That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
official story. But what these
On the
are
record.
is that it's almost like a club. It's usually like in a
It's
darker
loud.
place. It's loud. There's lots of flashing lights. It's the club vibe, but everyone has to have a table. You can't just walk around. You can't just stand around and
And you have to
carry
order
your drink.
food,
And you
usually.
have to order food. In these places, they play a lot of like K-pop music or really loud. Sometimes hip hop as well, but it's usually pretty loud. And they have these iPads or buttons on the wall. And these buttons is like 4 different yellow buttons, and like every 5 or 10 minutes there will be a game that everyone in the place can participate in, and the winner gets like free ice cream or free drink. And they'll have like the bidding one. They'll have like do you remember the game, the doodle jump game, of the guy who like jump up on like the original iPad? What's it called? Not iPad, iPod. It's like an old App Store game. They have like all these kind of like fun little like app games that you can play to try to win drinks. But what Bryant was talking about how you can see the people's other tables, and there's a chat room, and this is because hunting pochas are like a place that you specifically go for meeting people. I think we've talked about this in the past, that the Koreans have a word called hunting, which just means like looking for a boy, looking for a girl.
That's why you perpetually looking. You're the hunter.
Because I'm hunter. Yeah.
Not doing very well.
But this chat room, you can like chat to other tables. It just has like your table number, and you can send things. You can send gifts to other tables. Like you can buy, if you see another table of girls, you can send them a drink, kind of thing. And what I thought was like weird is that you can look at each table. You can see like, okay, this table has 3 girls, 1 guy. This table has 2 girls. This table has 3 girls. This table has 2 guys, 2 girls. Like you can see, because when you go in, the actual like server marks it down. Like you can't just put it in yourself and lie and say, oh, we're 3 guys or 2 guys. They like actually mark it down and say, okay.
Why would anyone do that?
Yeah,
Well, I know.
Why was such a weird thing?
You
so
know
it pops
people
into
would.
your-
No, you know people would. You know there would be a group of guys who are like, oh, let's put us down as 4 girls so people send us drinks.
It's like playing a girl character in like a video game.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, it is a pretty fun vibe. I wish they had it for like older people. I think it would be fun. But I think you've told me about places that are kind of similar to this, but it was for older people.
I mean, there's those things for like people who are 60 years or older.
60 years older,
Hell
older?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, Ryan was.
You
You were
go to
telling
the
about
park and
something
order a
with
bucket.
with an old friend of yours.
No, that was a
that
club.
they
that
used
was
to
a
go
club.
to.
So
Oh.
it was a club in Goyang where it was just an older crowd, and because it's an older crowd, people are just more relaxed and stressed.
Yeah,
like
but
less stressed.
it's a club.
It's a club.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It does have a name too, but it's basically like it's a club where people, I mean, it still happens, of course, but people usually don't go to look for others or to like hook up. They just go because like it's the weekend after work and they want to go listen to kind of older music. So they'll play like, for example, older K-pop, like early 2000s type of stuff.
I've been to one of these.
And then yeah, they'll just dance around and kind of sing to the music, and like you see a lot of people come there without like doing any makeup or being dressed up or anything. They just like show up, have a little time, have fun,
Get
and then
down
go-
tonight.
and then go back home. But yeah, it's like most of the, or let's put it this way, if somebody is trying to hit someone up there, they'll most likely get rejected because it's like, dude, this is not the place.
You kind of have to know like the purpose. No one's they're coming here because they don't want to get hit on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of like I take that as like the same thing as like girls going to a gay bar.
But the
What do you mean?
Well, most of my like female friends, they like going to gay bars because they don't have to worry about like guys hitting on them.
but that kind
Oh,
of place
okay.
that I'm talking about, like I've
So according to my
I've-
girlfriend,
I've
it's fucking
not-
annoying.
I've never seen like foreigners hit those places up. It's
Yeah.
like a very Korean.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think you were the only. You mentioned you were the only foreigner.
Yeah.
And then we joked that I should come too sometime, and it's just like the two of us.
Yeah.
I've been to one of those places before, but I had to like they were gonna say no, but I spoke Korean, so I was like, okay, you can go.
I'm not really.
They also have like an entrance fee, which is weird too.
But you usually get a drink with it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm not familiar with it because I think I went one time like 4 years ago. What is in Sinchon? There's a famous place called Dormitory. Is that kind of like that?
Dormitory?
Dormitories?
Nah.
No
There's
idea.
like 4 or 5 of them in Sinchon. They're really famous. But I heard that that's kind of like they play just really old Korean music. It's like what I've
Then
heard.
it might be probably.
So I don't know if that's
be
it.
one of those.
But those are really famous. If you live in Sinchon or come to Sinchon,
I mean, you're probably
look
not
up
gonna get in.
Dormitory.
Also, yeah, the average age there is like minimum 30.
So
Wow.
you're a youngster.
I was in the age. I was in the age range.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was mostly like people in their 30s, maybe 40s.
So when Koreans aren't going to bars and hofs and pochas and clubs and all these places that we just talked about, what other kind of places do they go for drinking?
For drinking?
Drinking is, like we've said this before, drinking is synonymous with Korea.
Yes.
And
It's the national pastime.
Yeah, basically is. So what are some other places that aren't these like kind of party areas?
So, like, still in line with drinking, but also, again, in this space, I'm about to mention, you don't have to technically drink, but it's always nicer when you do drink. And that's just going for a night picnic at the Han River.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that. It's always full, especially
A
in
lot
summer.
of people
A
do
lot
that.
of people do that, and it gets wild sometimes. It's just like, what the fuck is going on? This
So-
is a family place.
For those who don't know, Han River is the big river that flows through Seoul, or
Yeah.
I guess flows through the whole country, right? Doesn't it? Like,
Technically, it connects to several smaller rivers.
yeah, okay.
But
So,
it goes smack right across
Yeah,
Seoul.
to say just through.
And people like hang out just across the river. There's a lot of places you can go,
Mhm.
but yeah, just
Mhm.
have a picnic there. You can order chicken.
Oh
just
yeah, I was
to
gonna say,
there.
a lot of people order the chicken. You can go. It's a picnic place you can go to with nothing.
Mhm.
I think in most Western countries, the idea is you go on a picnic, you get your basket, you pack your blanket, you take your own booze and wine. Here you can just decide, fuck it, 8 p.m. What am I doing? I'm gonna go picnic instead.
You can even like
And-
rent.
Yeah,
the,
you rent your
Yeah,
mat.
you rent
mat
everything.
and everything.
You order your chicken on an app, or you go to one of those stalls next to the place. There's a convenience store.
Convenience
fucking
stores on the river. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a floating
A
convenience
floating
store.
convenience store. It's so good. You go in there, you buy your booze.
Yeah.
You can buy your ramen there as well.
You can also buy mats and stuff there too.
Yeah.
But you get those ramen there with the what's it called? Containers. What's it called?
It's like the plastic.
That's not
bowls.
plastic. It's the aluminum.
Oh, liberty.
Aluminium.
Aluminium.
They have like a special taste. It's
Oh yeah, true.
A metallic taste.
a metallic taste.
People do always say that like the Han River ramen tastes different.
Yeah.
Metal. Yeah, so that's just a nice way. And sometimes
haven't
they
been
have
this year.
they have buskers, people just playing music and
Yeah.
doing things. Other people just doing things they shouldn't be doing in public, and it's just like,
So a lot of people like to bring tents to the
Yeah,
Han River.
They banned that.
Yeah, well, they
No,
didn't ban
no.
tents. You're not allowed to zip up the.
Ah,
you're
you
not allowed
can't
to
zip it up.
Yeah.
Yes, that, I was gonna say that's what you can't do.
Yeah, you have
So-
to have all the windows and
You
doors.
can
open.
guess why.
You
Yeah.
can guess why. No,
Yeah.
but like I've been, and this wasn't even at night. This is
I don't need to
before
zip
night.
it up though.
I saw some things when I was like, it's the middle of the day. They are kids. It's like they are kids. Come on.
It's also very popular for college students. Like
Yeah.
when I've been in some clubs and stuff like that, they like to go down to Han River with the whole club for like the first meeting and stuff like that, and play games and drink and talk and stuff like that. So.
And it's also open enough that if it is your vibe, you can sort of pick up people of the opposite sex or the same sex. So what I've
Whatever
noticed
you're into.
is, sometimes what happens is there'll be just, it's Korea, guy group, girl group, guy group, girl group. It's very often that when it comes to eating, say, especially if you've been there since the afternoon, by dinner time, many times you'd actually see guy groups approaching girl groups
Mhm.
with the same number of people
Mm.
and saying, do you want to order dinner together? Do you want to order chicken together? And that's sort of
Or drink together.
a way
and
you can
stuff like
just,
that.
drink together. It's a really, really common experience. Or you can just go with your mates and get absolutely smashed out of your goddamn mind.
It's my favorite pastime.
And yeah.
And if you don't live in Seoul, if you live near the coastline, you can do this at the beach. Also.
Yeah.
Until 10. And then some angry lady comes
Yeah.
and takes you out.
Yeah.
And she says 999 for
Legally
some
not
reason.
But even that day, we saw guys going up to girls.
That was
and
so funny.
Yeah, I think we were all in relationships at the time, so we were just kind of all chilling out and watching. There was like these two relatively pretty
That's what
girls.
we call like machine gun Riz. They just went up to every fucking single
Yeah.
group.
Oh yeah, true.
And there was like one group of girls right next to us, and we just kept watching different guys come and just keep getting rejected. We were like, "Come on, let this be the one." And nope, they always got rejected.
Then Hunter went over. They're like, "Fuck off."
I did not go over.
I was kidding.
What
I was in a
about
relationship.
what about norebangs?
Yeah, so that's the other one. And some of us love norebang, some of us don't love it that much.
I like
I mean,
it
I
enough.
like
I mean, I go.
I love it.
Norebang is
What's norebang?
nore means sing and bang is room, so singing room, which is a karaoke.
Yeah.
But private karaoke room.
Yeah.
Right.
Not
So-
like in the West, you usually have
like open for
Yeah, I was
Open
gonna say
bar,
karaoke
yeah.
floor at a
Bars.
bar
Okay.
or at a place.
These are just private rooms.
private
So-
rooms where you can go crazy and sing.
You're in for
drink.
an hour or two, or you go to the
Or
sort of
usually 4.
koinore hour 2 or 4, or you go to the koinore bang where you pay per song.
Yeah.
That's a good
But
one too.
you know, you just go and you can drink there as well in many of them.
Yeah.
Technically, you can't. It is not. I think in the law, you can't
Oh,
drink
yeah?
at a noreban.
I think that's only coin norebangs. I
I-
know coin norebangs. You're not.
Or
supposed to bring
maybe
them
they
in.
can only sell beer, because when you buy soju at most norebans, they give you to in like a water bottle.
He's right.
Really? I've never thought about. I've never seen this.
But I think beer is probably fine. But it's
Huh?
And
I
no,
don't know
no,
about
you're
this.
right, because there's a popular brand called Junko. Junko Norebang is technically a restaurant,
that's how they do it.
and that's how they do it. That's why they can sell alcohol
Ah,
there, because
they
they
might classify it as
technically
restaurants.
classified as a
Especially in the
restaurant.
Hongdae, when you go to like the big one with the white building,
Mm-hmm.
they don't sell alcohol.
Yeah, yeah. Well, those are technically coin norebangs, right?
No, not one
No,
of them.
they're just
For
Oh,
example,
really?
Sunorebang is the one with open windows, like you said.
Don't-
No alcohol.
so you have to
alcohol.
like sneak
Huh.
it in.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that hard to sneak it in.
But it's not that hard. But I have noticed at some Norebangs, especially when you are just a bunch of foreigners, I've noticed them. You know, every so
Yeah.
often you're singing, and you just see this fucking eyes start
people
peering
peeking into the room.
into
and
the
stuff
room
like
because
that.
you know, not all the doors are glass,
Yeah.
so you know, it's just hello, and they're sort of just checking for booze.
Hello.
My first time in the Norebang was before I came to Korea to live here. It was when I came for the tournament, but I had met a friend, and she and I went to a Norebang, and it was a Koi Norebang. And it was late at night. Every 5 minutes, the Ajuma working there would just appear. What are you doing in there? What are you doing in there? What are you... Because people do, especially when it's just, you know, sort
Oh
of
yeah.
Pay for a couple of songs.
pay for a couple of songs, you know, 2 people go in alone late at night. You ain't just singing.
Really, that's all I've ever done is sing.
Unlucky.
Unlucky.
Unlucky. Don't get to play the game. But yeah, so Norebang's a good...
It's
a
a,
good
it's
vibe.
just, like in my experience, it's usually something you do kind of after the club.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In my
But I
experience. But I know some
sometimes-
people do.
Yeah,
go
sometimes people do just go for dinner and then go for norebang directly.
I think traditionally, and I say traditionally, more so in like the olden Korean business sense, is that they'd go for their staff dinners,
And then
they'd
they
go
to
for a
the,
bar,
only the men go to the.
they go to a bar, they go to they go to another bar, and then they go to the Norebang.
Yeah.
And by the time they go to the Norebang, many of the female
employees go
leave.
home.
Yeah.
Because at some Norebangs, and this is the dark side of Seoul and Korean nightlife.
It's
But,
probably if you have ever seen a Korean movie where they drink.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
You've
Seen
seen
this,
this.
Yeah.
can invite ladies.
Yeah.
They are call women who technically their job is to just entertain you. They sing songs with you just to have a good time.
Pour your
That's the
drink.
premise. Pour your drinks for you. Laugh at your terrible singing. You know, just sing their songs too. But with that, and I think this isn't just Korea specific. It's worldwide, right? But when you have entertainment like that, there's always room for abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of that abuse comes in the form of illegal activities such as prostitution.
Yeah.
So that is a big thing in Korea. I know many people actually consider prostitution not cheating. And that's why it's sort of not frowned upon, because it's you've paid for it, and so it's not cheating because there's no emotional attachment. It's a business deal. That's how I've heard. So I read an article where they did a survey
Interesting.
on this, and I was like, this is fucked. I was like,
Yeah, I
what
guess
kind of
Korean
what
business
kind
is
of
different
system
from,
is this? Yeah, it's so messed up. And so because it's been part of the culture for so long, many people then just assume when you work for these really big companies and your boss, who's sort of 60-year-old, 50-year-old man, is like, let's go, you can't reject.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so the wives, unfortunately, the wives of men who work at these big companies have sort of just come to accept it.
Yeah.
But I do know the new sort of, and our generation, M and then the Z generation, MZ generation, are sort of pushing back against this in many cases and pushing back against mandatory staff dinners as a whole. So there is some change, but the idea that you can enjoy prostitution illegally is very
It's very
common.
known.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
yeah.
So let's go back to the legal ones because I don't want to promote illegal activities. But let's really quick because we're running out of time. Let's run through some different popular areas and the types of things you can find in those areas.
Yeah.
So if you come to Korea or if you're new in Korea and you're looking for any of the ones that we just mentioned, not the illegal ones, you can look for those
I'm
on
not,
your own.
I'm not condoning any of the illegal ones. Yeah.
But we can share the bars, the hofs, the pochas, the clubs. Where are the best places for that? So I have a list of 5 of kind of the most popular areas, and we can kind of discuss what you're going to find in those areas. So number 1, the place that we all know and know, Hongdae.
Everything
Everything.
Yeah, Hongdae pretty much has them all, right?
except
Yeah.
for like the vinyl tent ones, I
Yeah.
guess.
The pocha
But
monster.
those are dying out. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, there used to be actually, but
It
I've
was
also seen that they've changed and they've become like more modern ones.
In Hongdae, it used to just be like tteokbokki, right?
Yeah.
Which is the rice
Um,
cake.
Yeah.
What would you consider to be Hongdae's like specialty out of them though?
I was gonna say the specialty is I think they tailor towards a university crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're an international student, you're gonna feel right at home. Just
Yeah.
with a lot of people who Korean and both international speak English as well.
Especially if you're a foreigner too, you're almost never gonna be denied entry.
Yeah.
Unless you're black, can go into those.
Or over 30.
Or over 30. So yeah.
I think those are the
I
two
have
big
little
things about
experience
Hongdae.
with that.
So yeah. Unfortunately, Hongdae
Half.
because of their younger crowd naturally, they do have age restrictions on
Yeah, yeah.
some
Yeah.
bars and clubs.
Upper restriction.
Yeah, other restrictions.
Upper is what like age limit.
yeah.
And some places do deny people of color.
Or foreigners altogether.
There are some that
But
deny
I think
foreigners altogether.
in terms of
but-
like
Very
a
rare.
neighborhood in Korea,
Mm.
Hongdae would be your safest bet.
yeah, no, Hongdae
absolutely.
is despite
Yeah.
the negatives, it is mostly positive. You're gonna go there and have a good time.
Do you want to go around table real quick and give a recommendation for your favorite places in Hongdae?
We can't all say Tokebi.
No,
so.
you should everyone.
So I'll go first. Tokebi.
You bitch.
No,
So
it's
Dokebi
Tokebi
bar.
bar is just one of those bar club mixes.
Mm.
You can have a good time. They've got a lot of hip hop music. The drinks are pretty decent, relatively cheap.
We almost always end
We
up
almost
going there.
always go there whenever we're out, even if it's just for a drink.
Yeah, at some point of the night.
We know most of the managers. I mean, they've sort of changed. I can't shout out Harry anymore, but
True.
I know all of the new managers already. So, just a really nice place to be.
Dagger?
This is the speed round.
bar, club, anything? No recommendations?
See you.
Your recommendation is don't go to Hongdae?
I know, Good Times 24.
Good times,
Yes.
24.
This is a convenience store around the Hyundai playground. Best bar in town.
I'm
Was
going to
during
go
COVID, especially.
Music 350. Is it
Oh, you've
350?
taken us there, huh?
I think a few of us have been there
Brian,
before.
I think you know the
It's
name.
a nice, like, it's
I
kind of an
know
LP bar-ish vibe, but it's pretty nice. It's nice little.
I'll just say
nice little
Suzy
cocktail.
Q's for
Nice.
my thing.
That's
There you
a
go.
good
Suzy
one.
Q's is great LP bar. What do you recommend?
I'll probably say La Luz.
Nice.
La Luz. Tell them about La Luz real quick.
La Luz is it's a bar.
Go with one word: Wonderland.
It's a wonderland. It
Yeah.
has all these free games that you can play, video games you can play. It has technically 3 floors. Second floor has a terrace. First floor has all the games. Basement has other games like pool and some arcade, ping pong too. It's just like has all these different cool vibes.
Cocktails are also pretty good.
Yeah,
They're a little
cocktails
bit
are decent.
more expensive than other places, but they do taste better.
And
So-
they are only like slightly more expensive. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Gangnam real quick. We got to kind of get through this. We're running out of time. What
Fuck
do you,
Gangnam. Next.
what do you,
I'm not a fan.
you're not a fan?
either.
The thing is,
Just-
I don't really like Gangnam clubs that much. The ones that I've been to just weren't that good. So, like, I think in the past, Gangnam had some pretty good clubs. Like, I know Octagon was really popular back in the day, and, like, Face is really popular. But I feel like they're just not that good anymore. So I would say if you want to go clubbing, Gangnam is not the place to go anymore.
I don't think so either. I think there's a lot of those type of pocha places, and a lot of the clubs also. I mean, as a foreign guy, they don't let you. in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's say if you're on the younger side of things and you have a Korean friend to take you, there's lots of hunting pochas in there as well.
Also, if they do want to let you in, they'll be like, "Oh, but you have to buy a bottle to get in." And it's like, "Bitch, I'll buy a bottle if I want to buy a bottle. You don't tell me."
I was gonna buy a bottle,
Damn.
but now
Yeah,
you're
I
telling me
was
to
gonna-
buy a bottle. I'm not buying a bottle.
Exactly.
I will say that we don't have to roundtable this one because I don't think we go to Gangnam that much. But I think a universal shout out, Kathy's.
Kathy's,
Yeah. If you're a
yeah.
foreigner and you're in Gangnam and you want a nice like kind of Western style bar, go to Kathy's. Tell them that
Get some
Hunter sent
popcorn.
you
And get some free popcorn.
He
Oh,
gives you
yeah.
free popcorn. He'll give you free shots. He'll give you free
True.
food all the time. Yeah, he's.
I
great.
also do like Thursday party in Gangnam more than Hongdae.
Gross. Next.
Never been there.
What about Apgujeong? What are you gonna find? What are you gonna find there?
I have.
We spoke about this in the Flex video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what you're gonna find there is cash.
fancy things.
Cash.
A lot
money.
of a lot of
Everyone
good
looks really good,
Like if you
too.
want a
Yeah.
good cocktail bar, you
Yeah.
should go to Apgujeong.
There's a lot of like themed ones. I don't know the name, but there's like a Zodiac themed cocktail bar that's really famous.
Yeah, they, like make
I
you
highly recommend
make
looking
you
that
a
one up.
cocktail based on your thing.
Yeah. Everything is higher end in Apgujeong.
Yeah.
So you want some fancy stuff, go there.
I know there are clubs, but I don't know it, Vinny,
I
because
I've been
all
to
the
a
people
couple.
I know who go to Apgujeong never go to the clubs. They
Yeah.
always go there to go to the nicer bars.
Yep. Yep. What about Jongro?
That's where you
Pocha.
get your tents.
Yeah.
Tent pochas.
Tent pochas, where you get.
I've also seen that around there. There's a lot of jazz bars.
And there's a lot of gay bars.
Are they really?
For-
But it's usually
for-
older men, right?
For older gentlemen.
Yeah,
Oh,
Oh, the gentleman.
older gentlemen. Yeah.
I
I want to
too.
go check out the jazz
Allegedly.
bars.
Jongro in general is a very old place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in kind of the old part of the city.
Yeah, they
Whereas like in Gwanghwamun, where it's just like the center, I guess,
Yeah.
they've propped up a lot of new buildings and stuff. But Jongno kind of takes the old part of it. So they have a lot of the small alleyways and the small tents and stuff. That's when
Yeah.
if you want to get like the real old school Korean drinking experience, that's where you go.
And it's sort of a triangle because you go like Uljiro, Jongro, Dongdaemun.
Yeah.
In that triangle, it's just all of those older pocha places.
I don't know any names, but if you go there, you'll see.
No,
them.
I
don't-
think it's Uljiro that has the jazz bars actually.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah, I think it's
from
Uljiro.
Uljiro into Jongro.
It's kind of
stretches.
connected.
That's
Yeah.
why I was like, there's a triangle, and it's not the place where you like name drop a specific place.
Yeah.
All pochas are kind of the same, and if you just go and see, they just blend into each other.
Yep. Pretty
Yeah, I don't. Sometimes I'm like, how the fuck do they?
Oh yeah, how do they know where to
English.
pay? It's like you go into one, but it looks like you're in the other one. It's like what?
And our final location, Itaewon.
Hey, Foreign Central.
Yep, that is the foreigner place. We talked about you probably won't get denied at most places in Hongdae. You definitely will not get denied any places in
That would be
Itaewon,
weird.
except
Yeah.
for fucking Waikiki. Fuck that place.
I don't know how Wakiki denied you.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, I
You
don't
were at
even know.
Waikiki.
I've
did
gone
too.
there. After that happened, I've gone there like 2 or 3 times and had no issues.
I think it was just that piece of shit
Wasn't it just
person
person?
working
Yeah.
there that night.
that one.
Because the thing is, like, just like I said, that night I was going to buy a bottle there. But when she told me that I had to buy one, I was like, no, fuck you, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, but Itaewon
Let's
has
go to Jack's bar, fuck you.
a lot of clubs, not really pocha places in like the party
No.
area. You're not really gonna find. It's
You have to kind of
very
go like,
Western
deep
style.
into
Yeah.
it in a kind
Yeah.
of weird.
I wouldn't even consider that really
No.
Itaewon.
But yeah, Itaewon's very, very westernized, and by extension, they've also got HBC next to it, Hebangcho, which also is just very western, and they have, I guess, the more famous gay bars for international people.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's maybe a better place if you're not in your 20s.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a bit older of crowd.
a
Yeah.
little bit.
A
I
little
wouldn't say
older.
too
No,
much.
no.
Well, the thing is,
they are
the-
young people,
compared to
but
Hongdae, but
you know, there
Yeah.
are less age limits.
Yes.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
no,
Because,
non-existent.
because Hongdae is like a university part, and Itaewon has always been kind of like just more any foreigners.
The sort of American town.
Yeah.
In
And
Seoul.
so
It's because the
um,
army base used to be like next to it, right?
Right.
In Yongsan, yeah.
In
I mean,
Yongsan.
it still technically is. They're just a lot smaller.
Yeah.
And nowadays you do see like older people in Hongdae too, but it's only because like people stopped going after
After
they stopped going to Itaewon for
After
a while.
specific incident, you can Google.
Yes.
Do you have any recommendations for places in Itaewon?
I like that place we went to last time.
Fountain?
Fountain?
Ah,
No,
I
I
wonder
don't-
why you like Fountain.
I don't know.
like it.
Maybe I was
Why you
just
like
drunk.
Fountain? I like
I
City
mean-
Back. City Back is
I
always
kinda
been fun.
like City Back
City Back's
too.
a 50-50 for me.
If there's a lot of people, I
If
don't
there's
like
a lot of people, I like it.
Oh.
No, I
Interesting.
hate going there when there's no one. It's just when there's no one there, I'm like, I would just rather go to a fancier bar.
That's fair. I liked it. I like going
Oh,
there.
I
It's
like
chill.
Jack's bar.
Jack's Bar is
good
like
too. I like Jack's Bar.
La Luz discount.
Yeah.
It's
Thick,
literally
but-
Tennessee
but-
Bar. You know that.
I'm pretty sure Jack's Bar and La Luz are owned by the same people.
Oh yeah.
Or similar people.
Oh yeah, I know what it is. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
I love Jack's Bar. It's literally Tennessee themed.
Oh, there is a place I wanted to name drop. I can't remember. It's an English pub. So just good beers.
I
Oh,
would have
I
said
know what you're
Waikiki if
talking-
they weren't fucking
No,
assholes.
I do know what you're talking about too.
There's the English pub.
Yeah.
And you can join their club, and when you drink X amount of beers, they put you on the wall.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Sign me up.
No, not Mad Dog. Oh my God.
Bulldog.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's on the
You-
second floor.
Yeah,
They have
yeah,
the pool
that
table,
place, yeah.
Oh.
So if you want to go to an English bar, like an English pub in Itaewon, I'm sure you can Google it.
Wolf something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Woof.
I'll accept.
It is something.
I want to go
Yeah,
there.
no,
It's like I almost want to say it's called Wolfgang or something like that. Or something. I honestly can't remember. I'll have to look it up.
Puck?
But anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Before we wrap it up, anything else you want to share?
If you come to Seoul and you would like to have a good time partying with those foreign guys and having a nice nightlife, hit up Brian, Dogger, and me anytime, and we'll show you around.
Yeah, you'll have to message them individually though, because don't message our actual Instagram account because they don't check it for shit.
I check it.
Check it.
I check it, and then I
all
wonder.
at one time.
No, I check our Instagram, and I wonder why is it just reels of women? Which one of you dogs has been using our?
never logged
I
in.
don't
Those
even.
foreign guys.
I don't
Definitely
even
not.
have the.
Because one of us just claimed the other don't use it, so it can by default only be that one.
No, I use my own. That's why my own is full of women too.
It's because
Whenever I check those foreign guys and I hit the reels button, I'm like, oh my god, it's just
It's not me. I
just-
swear.
Korean women.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please drop us a like and a follow on there. If you're listening on YouTube, watching on YouTube, hit subscribe,
Flick
hit
the
like,
bell. Flick the bell.
and if you're interested in more content from us, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/thoseforeignguys. We'll have a new bonus episode coming out the week after this one comes out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. Well, thanks for always joining. Love you all. See you next time.
Later.
Bye.
Oh shit, knocking my mic at the end.